Evelyn is also a fire main DPS, the exact same role as Soldier 11, but she's noticeably stronger. If you pull for a character like Evelyn, the fire DPS team will get stronger, but at a cost. Not only will there be overlap in the elemental and role coverage of the characters I've built, but Soldier 11 will now be robbed of her teammates. The Lighter and Astra that we mentioned before, they're also used for Evelyn. Now, Soldier 11 is crying. I just made her more unemployed than the average gacha player. Wait, most of you are unemployed. Surely that means you have the time to hit the subscribe button. Anyway, in this case, if you wanted to pull for a DPS unit, you would pull for one that both covers another element and uses different teammates. This account has no ice DPS units, making Miyabi an amazing pickup. Not only is that more elemental coverage for the account, but now you also have anomaly coverage, which is useful in certain endgame fights, such as Bringer. You also want to make sure the units that you do build have good teammates propping them up. Let's continue the example from before. Soldier 11's team is set, as she has two amazing units with her. But what about the Miyabi? Well, currently on this account, the only major synergy we have here is Sokaku. We need to get another unit to pair with the Miyabi. Yuzo is currently on banner, and she's a very versatile unit in the supportive role.
Has correctly
She's
joined
an
the
amazing
channel.
pickup here that has as much flex potential as Astra. If you hate Yuzo half as much as I do, Vivian makes for a great teammate that also has flex potential. Or you could pick up a Lycon as a standard banner option if you wanted to save some polychrome for future units. Basically, make sure the units that you are pulling for and building all have different roles on your account. That way you're covering a bunch of options no matter who you need to pull for in the future. For tip number 2, let's talk about team compositions. If you're a new player to DZ, it's likely that you started playing because there's a character that you really like. In my case, I'm personally an Anton main. Somehow, there are 8 billion people in this world, and that's the first time you've heard that sentence. Since we all have different units that we enjoy playing, instead of giving you specific recommendations, I'll give you an easy way to build team compositions around the characters that you really enjoy. There are 3 main team compositions in Zenless Zone Zero that you really need to know, as they encompass 95% of the team comps you will ever see, the most common of which is DPS, Stunner, Support. As a new player, this is actually the team that they give you at the start of the game. Billy is your DPS unit. His goal is to steal the show with big numbers. That's pretty fitting given he's the coolest character in the story. Your Stunner, in this case Ambi, is pretty much a specialized support for your DPS units. Their goal is to increase the days meter of enemy units quickly. When this meter hits 100, the enemy will take increased damage, which obviously DPS units love. Unlike Ambi though, actually good Stunner units, such as Lighter, will generally buff your DPS's damage output in some regard.
So, I'll eventually have to jump back in Zenless another time, because like, Zenless is something that I wanted to jump back to. I wanted to make my main thing to play, but like I just got so caught up with other things I never got the chance to have fun doing such things. So maybe eventually one of these days. His career is fucked. Okay, let me see. Okay, new best teams for every character in Zenless.
This is the disrespectful IRL.
Alright, so let's see.
Streamer walking out of court realizing he's completely destroyed his life, and now he
the Johnny Salami incident. He's still a thing? Let's see what this is about. Okay, first thing, let me get to my kind of want to hear about this one. I want to hear about this like right now. Alright, so let's see where this goes before I do anything. Okay.
He's facing a max sentence of over 40 years in prison once you add up all of his charges together, 6 of which he's already pleaded guilty to. And things just keep getting worse for this guy because he refuses to apologize. He keeps on doubling down on his moronic behavior.
Stream
and at
Elements
this
said
point, he's
Stream
just
Elements
completely
spot running
digging his
robot
own
emoji.
grave, to the
Learn
point
how to
where he's
customize the
honestly
bot here.
really going for that #1 spot of the Influencer Hall of Fame of morons. Now you may be asking, how is this possible? Well, he's built an entire career of harassing people in public. He went to Japan to do exactly this, and quickly found out because people started confronting him all the time. And it's crazy how much I called what was going to happen over 2 years ago.
You're from America?
Yes.
So am I.
You're from America.
Yeah, you're being obnoxious.
You know what we do to you?
What do you do?
We will do again.
Do what?
His career path is now limited, to say the least. He can keep streaming to the morons who are entertained by his behavior, but at some point, being disrespectful like this will either get stale or it's gonna catch up to him in the worst way possible. But back then, he ended up being chased down by alleged Yakuza members. He was forced to apologize multiple times, but because he didn't do it in a sincere way, he ended up fleeing Japan for Thailand.
Me be me if you need me. Now they all been watching like it's TV.
Where's the chat? Where's the chat?
In the way I do it, looking like it's easy.
Listen, I'm here as the lawyer. Listen.
But my head keeps spinning like a CD. Gotta do it right, never repeat. I just want more. You could tell when you meet me.
Oh, police are here, guys. Oh, police extra price.
Are you on board? Trey Flip and it's Steezy. 2014 outside in my DC.
If you ain't doing like super degen shit, maybe I'll see you again.
Okay, I like that. We gotta go.
But you know, just don't get canceled all over Twitter again.
No worries. I won't bring that heat.
Maybe throw it down like a bike, no kickstand. I've been feeling stuck in this life, no quicksand. Shit ain't coming quick, but I ride no it's sand. Still got kids coming up like big fan. Turned down one band for more bands, had more planes. The core fans just stacked up, was smacked up. I fell and got back up.
申し訳ありませんでした。申し訳ありませんでした。Oh, you a bad. That's what it is. You a bad. That's taking you to dinner. I'll change your life, baby.
They don't know your name like it's what your
Yo,
mother calling.
bro.
So in September of 2024, he arrives here in Seoul, Korea, and he goes to the Mapo district, and he starts to stream by going straight into this GS25 store here.
Okay.
And he immediately made his way to the refrigerated section to buy soju, a traditional Korean alcoholic beverage normally made from either rice or sweet potatoes. And with this, he starts harassing the local citizens of Seoul. So after stopping at this GS25, they made their way down here. Obviously, this venue was packed, and he ended up running up on this stage. So not long after he goes live here in Seoul, Korea, he immediately jumps up on this stage and interrupts a televised performance. So it took him about 10 to 20 minutes to start worrying if he was going to get arrested or not. So they made a run for it and ended up running to this bus stop right here, and they got on this bus. And here he only rode the bus for a few stops until the bus driver actually threw him off the bus, which in South Korea can easily be a business disruption charge, which he's currently facing 4 of. And you can really tell how uncomfortable his friend got with Johnny because he immediately left him because that was the last time he ever saw his friend on his stream.
Bro, stop being a piece of.
And soon after, he went to this market and bought a fish, went onto a bus, and started harassing people with the fish and playing North Korean propaganda. And when people asked him to stop multiple times, he did what he always does. He laughed in their face and didn't do so. So he was eventually confronted by the police, lied to them, so they let him go, and then he continued what he was doing to begin with, and then he was confronted by the police again, and then he lied to them again, and then he was let go yet again. The cycle just keeps repeating with this guy, but unfortunately, they just kept a tally and kept charging him with more and more charges.
Why are you being to other people in other countries? For money, for clout. I've said it many times. I don't give a. I have no morals. I'm a sociopath. I don't give a.
Wow.
Put this in
Wow.
your YouTube documentary.
Wow.
I want to apologize.
Wow.
And
Idiots.
At this point, I guess he felt completely invincible here in South Korea, so that's what led him to do the 7-Eleven crash out, and then later on, the Latte World incident.
French, no English.
And this is what brought me to Seoul in March of 2025, because he was officially indicted, and I've been covering all of this from afar, but I wanted to see what this train wreck was like in person. And honestly, I was in complete disbelief. I've never seen a person who clearly knew better act this dumb and completely destroy his life for zero upside. By March of 2025, he'd already been stuck in Korea for months, and finally, he had his opportunity to just apologize, take his penalty, and go home. What did he do though? Absolutely not that. Instead, he chose to insult the judge and judge's family just days before his trial, then show up to his trial over an hour late drunk.
The judge, the prosecutor, y'all can suck my causing anxiety by carrying a fish. Tell the judge you can suck my. I'll bring a fish to your mother's house.
Do you admit the charges?
Oh my god.
Is there anything you want to say? Do you admit the charges? Don't you want to apologize?
Now, as you can
Oh
see,
my god. This man is something else. Oh my god. This man's an idiot. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Oh my god.
Before, during, and after the trial. So did he take this as a massive wake-up call to maybe sharpen up, start apologizing, and get his stuff together? Absolutely not. He continued to live stream himself committing felonies.
Stop this man! Stop this man! He's harassing my girlfriend! Go away!
At this point, I don't even know. How is this person real? And this is what's brought us back now in August of 2025, because he's now racked up 8 charges.
So we're now on our way to interview a guy by the name of daY, because he hit me up the other day and he claims that he sucker punched Johnny in the face. And he wanted to take us to the spot where he did it and give some backstory to why he did so. We're standing here in Gwangjang Market, and I'm here with daY, who infamously punched Johnny Smalley in the face while he was standing right here. I had a few questions for him about what happened, and my first question would be, why did you do it?
So the reason why I did it is because he was assaulting people in my country. Just by his behavior, it just made me feel like furious, made me go like blind rage, just by harassing women and children and elderly people because for its clout, and also desecrating the statue that memorializes women who were forced into slavery, sorry about that, by Japanese imperials, which, by the way, most of them are underage. So after he did that, I just like, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna risk it.
Because you're in your 20s, I'm assuming most people in Korea in their 20s also feel the same way towards him, or?
Yeah, where everyone's just sick of him. Most people recognize him for wrong reason.
If I may ask, how were you able to track him down?
So to make it short, I was about to like, you know, do some of my personal like problems dealing with like accounting things. So then all of a sudden, around like 2 or 3 o'clock, Johnny was live streaming. I decided to call my friends, so we decided to gather in the Discord call and told them, guys, this guy is streaming. We gotta figure where this guy is. I know where his house is, but I'm not sure if you go to other places that I'm not familiar with. So can you guys track him down while I'm riding a train? And it was like, sure, go ahead. So basically the 4 of us figure out where he's going. Man, it was like a really long journey. And it kind of point I was like really exhausted by it. I was like really close to giving up. And then until one specific spot that helped me find this guy. It was a coffee shop right here.
Oh, so it was the White Button Coffee and Dessert?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
But it's all because of this place that I figured it out. And all of a sudden, I was like filled with just adrenaline coming up. In my mind, this one music from a Red Dead Redemption on the Nightmare, I think it's called Voodoo, Bad Voodoo. Have you played that game?
Yes.
So this music was playing on my head, and then I was like, kept running, and then I arrived here. And one of my friends just told me like, dude, I saw a police station in your camera. Bail, man, just bail. And then I walk across the street, and then I came here.
You ended up sucker punching him right here, and then you ran this way, right?
Yeah.
He kind of started chasing you a little bit, and you had a little bit of a confrontation. So you guys ran down here, and then if I remember correctly, you ran down here. And then this is essentially where the altercation ended. Because he said something, you ended up running a little bit back up the stairs, and then you went, oh, okay, I gotta disengage.
Yeah, right? It's like, you know, I'm just so tired. I just want to go back home. That's it. If you want to go
Jolly
around and harass people just
said hello,
for clout, or just do something really stupid in public, get a like.
Hello.
Code.castlabs.viewer.event_format.tts.rich_message.attachment. Code.castlabs.caffeinated.app.docs.viewer.event_format.tts.rich_message.attachment.
Do I want a fish ice cream?
Hey, Ari,
it's like
how are
a
you?
bean paste ice cream. This also looks interesting. This kind of seems like a vibe. Honey apple ice cream cone. That's probably fascinating. So in Korea they do things where there's like, they give you an ice cup and then you buy your own drinks and then you mix it into the ice cup and then you have a ready to go drink. Oh yeah, and you can also add all these things in here as well. We have something else in mind though.
Okay, so we've now acquired our ice cups, but instead of making our own drinks inside of the 7-Eleven, which is extremely common here, we're going to do it a little bit differently.
Jolly Ninja 35 said NGL, but I'd love to visit one of those foreign convenience stores.
We wouldn't be in Korea right
Lil
now.
Slave 3 said
It would be nice. It would be nice. I hear they're pretty nice. They're very clean. Very, very clean.
Mix in the ice. We got
Hello.
the Mango Gamer Subs here now. What I do like about Gamer Subs is it doesn't taste chalky.
Also, you can get gamer subs for what, 40 cents per serving, so it's basically the cheapest one on the market, and it tastes the best, so I don't really see a loss here. And if you don't believe my statements, you can click this link in the description down below and use code ATOZI for a free sample pack of gamer subs. So it's 1 spoon of gamer subs per 500 milliliters. No, per 250 milliliters. Oh my. Don't worry, I shall clean that up. And the ice will work as our own shaker cup today. Thankfully, Gamer Subs also has a whole plethora of wonderful shaker cups as well. It actually smells amazing. Dude, taste that. Taste that. That is actually amazing. What? Taste that. Genuinely.
Okay, no, you got me.
Dude, that's amazing. Cheers.
Gombe.
Thank you. Thank you. Gombe. 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 Thank you so much, Gamer Subs, for sponsoring this video. That was Cooking with Arling, Cooking with Earl, Cooking with ATOZI. Raise your hand if you've ever seen something like this before. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Nailed that first try. Wait, I can't rotate that way. That's okay. Dude, did you see that?
Jesus Christ.
Did you see that? I caught it.
That was the Gamer Subs.
That was purely Gamer Subs. Gamer Subs GG/ATOZI. Use code ATOZI, so you can have razor quick reflexes like me, and I'm completely jaywalking like a complete moron. I'm so sorry. Well, actually, I wasn't jaywalking. We had the right of way. Dude, we are so locked in.
So going into the trial, we had a lot of questions revolving Hank and Johnny's relationship, because recently Hank went onto the K-Town Social podcast and said, hey, Johnny owed him $20,000. He wasn't associated with Johnny anymore, and Johnny no longer lived with him. And to be fair, are we surprised there's trouble in paradise when you have 2 dudes living on top of each other in a extremely small apartment for about a year? No, especially when you consider that one of the dudes there is not making any money. He's actually just a drain on this dude's life, and he's causing a massive rift between him and his family. And this guy's family is paying for the other dude's trial. It's just not a good deal.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know why Hank thought it was a hot idea to bring this moron into his home, and then also I don't know why Hank thought it was a good idea to even help him and then have his family help when his family hates Johnny. That was the most weirdest, bizarro thing ever. I don't care they're friends. That shit was dumb. Like you guys sometimes have to point out when your friend is just an idiot, like just straight up. Like, and I don't mean, oh, he said something funny, it might be a bit offensive type idiot. I'm talking about you are a literal depravity on like human society, and you are my friend. I don't even refer you as my friend. I literally like I relieve you of your friend duties. You're not my friend. You're not even close to my friend. You're not an associate. You're literally a speck of dirt to me. Like that's how that should be. When your friends do insane shit like this.
Said visit
it's the weirdest fucking thing.
For them whatsoever.
We're now headed to the Johnny Smalley trial. It's the day of. The trial begins in just a few hours. It's pouring rain here in Seoul. So we have the umbrellas on deck. Locked in. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens today, because this apparently is supposed to be the most important trial day, because you actually have a witness, which is Bong Bong. And it'll also be really interesting to see if Bong Bong actually shows up, because it seems like there's been a lot of intimidation towards her, because Johnny Somali and the people who support him don't want her to show up and testify. But again, she's not the only one who has the deepfake charges against him.
Was there a chance that this is also the day that we get to know like the closing dates and whatnot?
Could be. And the other interesting thing that's happening today is we'll find out what the 4th obstruction of business is. Also, today the trial is actually at 4 p.m., not 9 in the morning, so the odds of him not oversleeping and showing up drunk are a lot higher, but never zero with this guy. So what are we expecting to happen today in court?
We're going to hear a new charge, which is an obstruction of business. We know that.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear a plea.
Yeah.
Johnny. We're going to hear him confirm his address.
Yeah.
Confirm his occupation. See what he's going to say. And then, what do we got? Bong Bong.
Right. Okay.
She's going to testify, and it should be very interesting.
Well, I guess we'll check back in when we know. So Johnny's current freedom will be decided behind these doors.
Obviously, I can't film inside the court, so we did a little drawing again. So here you see the judge in the middle there, and then on one side you have the prosecution, and on the other side you have the defense. And clearly we had a very sad Johnny Smalley sitting in court today. So this is essentially what it looked like. You had the translator in the middle, and then you had the prosecution and the defense on opposite sides, and obviously the judge.
Look at that drawing.
Behind,
I don't know why I'm getting Rukia vibes. The drawing reminds me of Rukia when Rukia's trying to explain something to like Ichigo and she has horrible drawings. It's just funny.
Vacation of said best followers on stream boo. Remove the space.
That shit crazy.
2W.
What says court in Korean there.
Here's the boys. How we feeling?
What Rick's official said be a support hero today by using commands like
at the very least,
support.
Italic. I've never seen someone try to keep that straight of a face before.
All right, so we just got out of court. What were the big updates that happened during it?
Well, we had not a surprise witness, because the definition of that is somebody who we didn't know was going to be called, but we just made a mistake about assuming who was going to be called. It actually turned out to be the Lotte World employee who had to deal with Johnny.
Oh, so we thought Bong Bong was going to be called, but it wasn't Bong Bong. It was her instead.
Yes. So that was for the section of business at Lotte World, and then but Johnny changed his plea to guilty.
So therefore, she didn't have to testify.
Exactly. There's no need for her to testify.
Okay.
She said she could just go because she pled guilty. So he changed that one plea, so now we only have 2 not guilty pleas.
And the 2 that are not guilty pleas, those are both for the deepfakes or for the...
Those are both for the deepfakes.
Right.
And they're going to call witnesses for that, which is what they were arranging now.
Okay, so they did not originally want witnesses for that, or that's what...
The lawyers...
Bright Froclos said good afternoon everyone.
Where in God's name in any of these AI companies' heads where you can literally make a deepfake, they honestly thought in the back of their heads like majority of all humans will use this ethically and responsibly? Where in God's name where they actually thought that that was going to work out in their favor? Like, who thought that was a smart idea to do that shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why would you think? Why would anyone think it was a good idea to ever, and I mean ever, give anyone any type of power to make fake people or make a AI that allows you to like make fake situations at all, and thought that was smart? Let's put that to the public. That makes sense. It doesn't make it's just the most dumbest thing I've ever like. I don't understand. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Hey, Bri. What's going on, bro?
Lawyers tried to stop it.
Okay.
Since he insists on a not guilty plea, they have to call the witnesses.
But since now witnesses are involved, that means the next trial is going to be 2 to 3 months out from now, I'm assuming.
October 24th.
October 24th is the next trial then, okay.
We're waiting a confirmation from that right now because we always want to check, but it sounded like... You're pretty sure that sounded like October 24th, right? Yeah.
The lawyer was asking for too much time for cross-referencing, so the judge said that prosecution said they only needed like 10-15 minutes. He wanted like 25-30 minutes.
So that means the lawyer, since the lawyer first tried to stop the testimony, or stop the witnesses, but since the court
Link 7 Storm said, "Hey Artex."
The lawyer asked for more time than they could allocate.
Okay.
So that means
hey, Lynn 7,
really
what's going on?
Grill the witnesses.
So would you overall say this trial went good or bad for Johnny, or this case, or this trial date?
I think it was pretty stupid.
Okay.
It was but you have a defendant who's insisting on these not guilty pleas, and you have a lawyer who was just flustered, and this was actually the first time we heard this lawyer make an argument.
Yeah, and how did he do?
His argument was that Johnny did not produce the deepfakes, he only distributed them.
Right.
To which the prosecution says, well, that's what you're accused of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who? Your lawyer's a dumbass. It's like, okay, say I drew a very controversial drawing, right? And the controversial drawing can make people upset, right? The only way the people know that the controversial drawing exists if I share it.
Lin7 Storm said going good, just thinking about switching to mainly digital art so I can get a job easier.
I got you. Well, it depends what job you're going for. who I don't know who his lawyer is, but his lawyer is not really playing with a full deck on that one. What was the argument on that? Okay, I didn't make it, but it has me in it, right? And not only that I didn't make it, but it has a fake version of me doing something I shouldn't. I made it my mission to share it to others. Like, where was the win in this? Where was the legitimate win in saying, okay, Your Honor, I didn't make the deep fakes, but I damn well distribute that shit. That's like saying I didn't make the drugs,
Lin7 Storm,
but I definitely sold them.
Character/commission artist. Dio Art said, "Hey, waving hand emoji."
Hey Dio, what's going on? That's how stupid that sounds. That's insane. Why did you even argue that? He's in the video showing it to everyone. That's how dumb this is. Like, what? Why would you even argue that? It just sounds like you're arguing for the sake of the argument. That just sounds dumb as hell. What the fuck? That's literally what you're being accused of, bro. It said it in the thing. You said you're being accused of or being charged with sharing what do you call it, deep fake situations, which is a high offense in South Korea. So where did you think it was a good idea to literally say, okay, I'm not making it, but then again, it has my face in it doing something insane. And not only that was shared, but it was shared by me. Stupid.
Regardless of whether you made them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
why
you're
are you
dumb.
insisting
Arguing
on a
that.
not guilty plea? But he is. It's a paradox.
Right.
It's like basically
you said
saying
you made them, you're guilty.
yes.
Oh, if you said you distributed them, you're guilty.
Yeah, they cannot deny having distributed them. I think it goes back to what the lawyer said, like way back when. We said the law itself is stupid.
Right. Okay.
They're trying to argue. Yeah,
They're trying the Chewbacca defense.
Johnny. Excuse me, guys. No? Okay. They don't want to be on camera.
What's interesting also is the North Korea charges that were hovering over his head, because he was actually brought in for questioning there. And he essentially got out of that by saying, hey, I didn't know what I was saying or doing. Please don't charge me.
When I go to the judge tomorrow and say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I'm mentally ill, I don't know what's going on, I plead mentally insane, and they say, okay, go home with a fine of $500.
Well, the only problem with that is
This man's an idiot. He thinks he's in Western court or something. I think that's where the problem is. I think this is an American problem, especially a Western one, like just straight up American. We all believe that the world is exactly where we live. I think that's where the problem is. You can't just go up and say and plead insanity like almost instantly in just any country and think that's how you gotta get away with it. You can probably do that here in America, but you can't do that here. You can't do that there. And that's not working out in his favor, as obvious. Like, what the fuck? Are you stupid?
his own streams, just like everything else he does. But here, he proves that he is very aware of how serious this behavior is here.
What's the law on that? You said you read up on the law. What's the law on that, North Korea?
All right, so no propaganda, bro.
No propaganda.
Like,
what is
don't carry around no.
What's the
placards,
definition of
like,
propaganda?
Papers, like papers promoting Kim Jong Un, like T-shirts promoting Kim Jong Un. None of that.
Bro, I ain't got no t-shirt.
Nah, no, I know, but don't be talking about him and saying he's a real god and whatnot.
What's kind of ironic with all this is clearly, as we saw in the start of this video, Johnny wanted so badly to be liked and kind of be like Ice Poseidon. But unfortunately for him, his own behavior led to him being hated even by his idol.
This is the reality of the situation, okay? I'm telling you the reality.
I'm listening.
I went to Japan before, no problems. After you did your... I went to Japan, a bunch of problems. Why is that? Because of you. Made my life harder, so I do not like you.
So clearly, reality is slowly kicking in with Johnny that, hey, you're no longer playing a game. You have some serious consequences that are hanging over your head. Because it seems like he's taking this more seriously now. He still showed up late, but at least he had a fitting suit, and he didn't make a whole scene when he arrived. But the main thing I noticed looking at him was, wow, he looks incredibly defeated. But unfortunately for him, he still hasn't apologized. He's now ran out of time to apologize and get a more linear sentence here because for some reason he just keeps doubling down. His whole strategy here does not make sense because he was hit with 8 charges, 6 of which he's already pleaded guilty to. That was the 4 obstruction of business charges and the 2 misdemeanors. But the last 2 charges, which are the more serious charges, he pleaded not guilty to. And he did it in a little bit of an interesting way because these last 2 charges, they are for distributing and creating deepfakes. And he pled not guilty, but also said while he was pleading not guilty that, oh, he did distribute them. And while that could make sense if you're in the US, here in Korea, under his circumstances, that does not make sense whatsoever because he's ran out of money. He's using Hank's money to keep paying for his own attorney. And this is only going to prolong the entire trial process and make his sentencing even harsher because he's not pleading guilty. And as we've already established, he's already distributed them. So from the people I've talked to here, that'll extend both his trial process, but also make his sentence way harsher. And realistically, he's looking at a prison sentence from anywhere from 3 to 8 years here. And that's if the charges stay as is, because before every single trial date, they add more charges. And that's because, again, he live streamed himself committing felonies because the dude can't stop incriminating himself. So this might go down as one of the largest cases of a streamer effing around and finding out. But if you want to try Gamersubs for free, you can go to gamersubs.gg/Atozy. You can get a free sample packet when you use code Atozy. Or if you want another way to support the channel, we have a whole plethora of new releases over on Matt.city, including the Soul Collection. And you could use those as a rug on the floor or hang them up as wall decor. It's up to you. I mean, look at this thing. It looks pretty dope. Matt City, baby. Notice how they're actually braided as well, so they'll actually last a long time. Also, a lot of people wanted the exact drawing I did from court last time, but unfortunately I discarded it. But this time, I'm keeping it. And if someone wants it, I'll just be putting it on eBay, open bid, $1. Have at it, guys. It could be yours for maybe like 20 bucks. Who knows, depending on how many people actually want it. I also want to give a big shout out to Gabe from Culture Brat Productions for helping with clips for this video. And he's just dropping one of the largest documentaries on IRL streaming now soon, which he's just released a trailer to right here, which you can check out here. But other than that, I'll see you guys.
Yeah. That was me. Mash JT. I don't care for that right now. Teams of that. Why is everyone so fucking quiet today? God damn. Jesus Christ. Everyone's so quiet. You know what's wild too? It's like I'll be doing artwork for like 3 hours straight and absolutely no one will speak. And then when I go play a video game, some idiot will come in here and say, "We're not doing art today." Are you fucking okay? Yeah, we're not doing art today. We are not doing art today.
Bright Rockless said lol.
It will be like literally like 4 hours straight of doing artwork. And then they'll come in right after I'm doing art video games for like 2 hours. I mean, like within the first 30 seconds. I mean 30 minutes. Like what? Where were you then? Like, the fuck? Are you not subscribed? Like, do you not get the notification on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch? I understand TikTok, fine. But there's other platforms I'm on. There's no way you don't know. Like, come on, man. It's getting to a point where that's ridiculous. I'm on Twitch, and I know Twitch literally does it. Like, I don't know why. There's some anime stuff.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I know you saw that
Okay, let me see. This is actually quite important. I want to hear about this.
title and you're wondering what's going on, so here it is. Let's begin at the beginning of when we came into this problem, all right, when we picked it up. Gundam manga publisher Kadokawa recruiting overseas talent due to Japan's population crisis. Now, again, this is no surprise to anybody, but Japan has not a lot of people right now. And that means it's less likely for those smaller amount of people to be able to fill up the jobs needed to create these manga and, of course, the anime. Because here we have it. Gundam franchise animator, that's Sunrise, says shorter anime seasons due to a shortage of professional staff. Reveals that the studios are turning to social media for help. Now again, they're going...
Then that means what's going to happen, they may have to ask foreigners to come over to their country to help and make some anime for them. And that's going to be a big problem because foreigners don't know when to stop. We don't know when to shut the fuck up or push our fucking agendas. So, like, that's going to be bad. As long as they don't hire no blue hairs, you'll be perfectly fine. But, like, Jesus Christ. Let me see. Or crazy activist people.
Going out there into the world, looking at X, looking at Facebook, looking at Instagram. Probably Blue Sky too. A lot of people over there a lot of artists went over there too. So they're checking out these different platforms in order to find people that they need in order to continue making these things. Because as they said in the previous one, there's not enough people in Japan to make this stuff. Even if you held a gun to the head of the Japanese people that are living in Japan now and forced them into industries, there's just not enough people to fill the gap. So there's no point in forcing these people to work longer, these poor animators that are already working to the bone for basically nothing. If you don't
Kind of think if there's less people making or that are animating or making money, or making these animes, shouldn't they get higher pay? Shouldn't that make sense? I'm just wondering, does that make sense? I believe that makes sense, right? If there's less people, there should be higher pay. That's less people to pay, right? So the people who are less should get more, right? Because if I have like 30 staff, or let's say I have 70 people, I have to pay them like $100 each. But if I dwindle that 70 to like 20,
Bright Roclos said sounds good to me.
that sounds good to me. I think the less people, the more money. I'm not saying it's gonna make production go any more faster, but at least they'll have something worth, like, they'll put more effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I, like I said, if I have 70 people in staff or even 100, and I dwindle that straight down to 25 or at least 15, maybe 30, like 30 to 20. I suggest there's going to be a higher pay cut for those people now. I'm just saying. Right? Like, if I had 40 mods, I have to pay them each, like, I don't know what's my salary upon that, but, like, I have the 5 mods I have that, like, deal with me.
How's it going? Just got off work.
Hey, JR. So, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Wouldn't it make more sense, like, even though they can't get productions faster, would it make more sense if there's less people? They should get more pay. Because if there's more people, that's more pay, more mouths to feed, or more people to pay. So if there's less people, so if there's 70 people, and I dwindle that to 20, shouldn't the 20 get just as, well, get more? Sure, that makes sense.
I don't know, being an animator in Japan
Just to hold up morale, in a sense.
and is a definite act of love. They only get paid about 12 to 15,000 US dollars a year. And they're expected to live on that.
Are you serious? Oh, fuck no. I honestly believe that it makes no real sense to work at a studio.
JR said I've done moderation work before, but never been paid for it. Lol. Sucks to be me. JR said unless you count game moderation, got paid for that.
Well,
JR said that.
Wait, you say moderation like for like YouTube and stuff, or you're saying moderation in just in general? Because like the thing is here is like how can I put it this way? How can I word this right? Like, give me a second.
They end up living in dormitories together because they can't afford independent domiciles. Then they have to go home.
Yeah, now it came to me. I think it would make more sense for majority of these animators just to do projects independently, and then get funded by like Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee or one of these subscription-based places. Now, I understand some of these subscription-based places have their problems with the whole
JR said I've done streaming moderation for an ex-coworker and games moderation for an online game.
Ah. But like the thing is, they're saying they don't have enough staffers or enough people on staff to do most of the animating and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, if there's less people, there's not enough people, or there's not a lot of people, shouldn't the people in less get just as well, get more? I doubt they'll actually pay them more, but I think that should happen. Because if there's less people, more people get paid. Because I think that they did that with the whole SAG-AFTRA thing, where those people was demanding like such insane shit for how many people should be in the writer's room and all that stuff. And now they found out that the people who made these demands realized that there'll be less people in the writer's room now, and those people will get more money, but the people who was demanding more people in the room is not going to get as much, or just be fired completely. They're not going to be working in the Hollywood industry anymore like that, because they don't need that many people.
JR said, in my experience, when you get too many people, nothing gets done. You can get way more done with a smaller team.
That's what I'm thinking, because but that's the thing. If there's a smaller team, should they, I wouldn't say get more pay, but like get a good handsome amount of pay. That's what I'm saying. Because they said here that there's not enough Japanese professionals to work on these animes anymore to a degree. And I know they're probably just gonna find a different way to make money on that by asking foreigners to come over, like from the West or wherever. But wouldn't it just make sense, even though it's not going to make production go faster, but it'll hold morale for those who are just being like, have to do with the heavy lifting? Wouldn't it make sense that if there's less people, they get more pay?
JR said, keep the West out of my anime.
I said that. I already said that before you came in. I already said that. Don't let the West in. Don't let the blue hairs in, because if you do, I already said that. But yeah.
JR said, bro, we on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I was like, don't let those blue hairs in.
Home to their families, way out in the countryside or at the edge of town, because they can't afford to live in the city. So they're not even there with their families while they're doing all of this. It is, again, it's part of the corporate structure in Japan. It's outside of our culture. We have to understand that that's what they agreed to be part of, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But understand, it doesn't attract a lot of people who are not so passionate about animation. This is good, right? When you come down to it, we don't want people who aren't into animation becoming involved in animation.
Right? I don't know how the West managed for that to happen. I don't know how we managed to let that happen. That shit still bugs me to this day. Like any Hollywood, they don't even like hide it. They tell you directly in your face. Like, for instance, they'll like be doing like a movie on like Spider-Man or like Blade or something, and they'll say, the director will say directly in your face, I didn't read any comics. I didn't check any of the lore. I didn't watch any of the Wesley Snipes movies. I didn't do any of that. I just did my own thing. And you just look at him.
You know, in my companies in Japan, they don't fire you for sucking. They just give you less work so you feel useless and then resign. Joke's on them. Western blue hairs already are useless.
You're right. Psychological tactics, but see, that's the thing. The one thing I can at least say to Westerners, they can adapt, but not for the better sometimes. Oh, Jesus Christ! But like, it's weird. Like, they'll directly say in your face, directors, actors. They'll say in your face. They'll say, I don't know anything about the character." Just like fucking, what's her name? Bella Ramsey. We did that video on Bella Ramsey. She's saying she wanted to be Spider-Man. but she doesn't know anything about Spider-Man. The only thing she knows is about watching Andrew Garfield. That's it. She didn't even mention Tobey Maguire. She just literally said Andrew Garfield. That's the only, I think, other Marvel movies she said she's seen. She's only seen like one or two. That's it. She doesn't know anything about Spider-Man. She made that very clear based on her mannerisms, her posture, everything. Just even the way she was responding seemed like she didn't know what the fuck she was getting herself into the question that the dude was asking. It was saying like even crazy questions. He asked like a mild question. He asked, would you, if you were to play any character? It was literally a write your own story type question. It was like, if you could play any character whatsoever, who would it be? The bitch picked fucking Spider-Man, and then he's like, why?
Say we didn't play Halo, we didn't read Witcher, we don't like Dungeons and Dragons. Snow White is problematic. They always disrespect the source material.
Correct, and they did the same thing with Witcher. The people who was working on Witcher did not like Witcher, and the only person who was trying to push the idea to keep the story intact so we can actually make some fucking money was Henry Cavill. He said he read the books, he knows the lore, he knows the characters, and he was always in some type of like crosshair with the directors or like in general or the writers because they didn't like anything that was in the books, but they're doing their own thing. And then when they did their spin-off, that shit went left real fast. And then when Henry jumped off, actually, quite frank, since Henry's jumped off, I don't even think anyone cares about the I wouldn't say it was called a reboot. I'm like the continuation with what's his face is who's taking his place as Geralt. But like, it's just sad, bro. Like, don't let activists or people who don't like the source material make it.
When I told you that they tried to make the horse roach dying a comedy scene and Henry Cavill had to fight tooth and nail to get it to not be a joke.
I don't remember.
Did not get it.
I don't remember if you told me that. I'm pretty sure you did. I don't remember, but like, I'm pretty sure you did, but like, I don't remember per se. But I'm sure you did. But like the fact that the only true actor that everyone liked. And I tell you something, Henry Cavill keeps getting the shit end of the stick. And I don't know why this man keeps getting fucked over by, like, Hollywood just doesn't like men like Henry Cavill. He actually seems like he genuinely likes his audience, or at least his fan base. And when he tries to do anything that particularly stays on course on what he's working on...
The producer said it's just a horse when Roach is the only thing Geralt ever really cared about.
Right.
It's kind of what happened here in the US. It doesn't matter if the subscriber count never changed. Shocking to do it because... But anyway, this shocking title came over from Automaton, and I happen to agree with it. It's not that I hate Gundam. Let's find out what they have to say. The Gundam series may not survive another 10 years, Gundam GQX director suggests. Gundam GQX, an Evangelion director, shares his insights on young audiences' shifting relationship with the concept of a pilotable robot.
What?
That doesn't seem like it should be true, right? Like Gundam,
What? Audience is shifting gears? Wait, audience is series to survive another 10 years. Shifting gears of what? That kids are not with the idea of a pilotable robot? What the fuck?
Got all these ideas. Giant robots, it's just a fountain of cool stuff that could happen. But the problem is that Gundam limits itself to a certain type of conflict, and it's very rare that it gets outside of that conflict. And unfortunately, over time, having these, world-ending conflicts kind of gets a little dull when we all know how it's going to go. The hero Gundam's going to explode in the middle, and then in the middle of it, and then some cool
Kofi
Gundam's going to come
Streambot
out
said
the other
visit
side.
Artextric's Kofi page at.
Wait, go back? I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Hero Gundam's going to explode in the middle, and then in the middle of it, and then some cool Gundam's going to come out the other side. That's not me smearing Gundam. That's me acknowledging the formula that they have followed since the beginning. Okay? Now here, he goes on to explain his thinking.
JR said what I absolutely hate about Western studios is that they deliberate bastardize content and then say, oh guess people just aren't into this thing anymore. They literally gaslight themselves.
Yes, I noticed that. Pixar is evident of this very thing. So they'll take like something called what's that Pixar movie that came out with the little boy and the alien? I forgot what it's called. He goes to another like alien ship or some shit, and he's trying to be the ambassador for Earth. a bunch of Pixar people were saying, if you don't like original, this is why we don't make original stories, because when we do, you guys don't like it. No, you wrote horrible stories. You originally wrote a horrible story. That's where you kind of fucked off on that, because shows like movies or shows like K-pop Demon Hunters did perfectly fine. That's a whole original story. It's not technically original, but it's different from an IP that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not breaking the fourth wall, other than it's a sing-along type song using the K-pop genre and then adding a Demon Slayer type like spin to a degree in a modern setting. Fine. But the point is like, it's written very well based on its characters, not really its story. Its story is pretty like to the point. It's like cut and dry. Famous girls have the responsibility keeping the demon world and the living world except from each other, because it will cause conflict. Pretty much it. That's what that is. And I mean, I haven't seen that before. But the fact that something like I forgot what it's called. What's it called? Juno? Why I can't remember it. Oh no, I think it's called Julio? I forgot what it's called. Whatever the Pixar movie was, you guys know what I'm referring to. That bombed because no one cared for it, because it, one, maybe it wasn't that original, and two, it was pushing some strange messaging in there that the director really wanted to push something really more insane, but because of how things are changing, I think they said they had to pull back on that.
That's what they do though. They make something bad and then claim the reason it failed is either because everyone is a bigot or that people just aren't into the thing anymore.
Correct. And that's where that problem comes in. And I hate that.
daY said they did that with Halo series and then tried to claim it was because people don't like a Halo TV show concept.
Yep.
Which is bullshit.
And I hate that the most. It gets on my nerves. I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do because it's original. You just wrote the character wrong. Like, let's put it this way. Okay, say it's the originality is the problem. You guys are using IPs that exist and still fucking off. What does that tell you? Who is the common denominator? Okay, you write an original story, it bombed. You take a IP that exists, it bombed. Who is part of two of those casualties? You! The story, or what case may be, who's ever in the decision-making process is the issue. It's not the Scooby-Doos. It's not the Captain Americas. It's not the Spider-Mans, the Batmans. It's not about the dudes rich and white. It has nothing to do with any of that crap. It has nothing about social justice. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just you. It's just you. It's not because they have to be black or they're not black or they're not what do you call it? They're not catering to a certain demographic. It has nothing to do with that. You just wrote the character horribly, or you just started off horribly, and you had no oversight in the slightest. You didn't get any type of like
JR said the idea
supervision.
That original stories aren't well received is nonsense. Because I literally have worked on games where there was only one developer while I was the admin/mod, and it was a huge hit.
Yep. So I don't think it has anything about being original, and I don't even think it has to do with the IPs. I think it has to do with the people in the driver's seat. That's where the problem comes from. You can write a black character perfectly fine. It's who's driving that so-called black narrative that makes all the difference. You don't have to technically be black to write a good narrative. That's why you have a bunch of black people saying Wakanda when it was written by two Jewish men. The irony in that. What is the irony in that? Wakandan forever.
Like many of his peers, Tsurumaki has been captivated by the idea of adolescent characters piloting huge machines ever since the start of Japan's robot boom back in the 70s. He says, "When I was a kid, motorcycles and cars were the objects of admiration. I think that the idea of piloting a robot came as an extension of that admiration, as a way to not only leap right into adulthood, but also to wield a tool that allows you to surpass adults." Now, if you remember, the majority of Gundam protagonists have always been gifted young men who just hop in the cockpit and have some divine ability to know how to pilot it right out of the gate. You remember Kira Jesus Yamato, right?
JR said
So let's go
funniest
down
part about Wakanda is that trade is what created innovation. So if a place really did isolate themselves like that, they would be in the Stone Age still, which we see that with tribes today.
That, and I guess you can say North Korea to a degree.
He goes on with what he has to say here. And he says, in today's manga and anime, protagonists wield magic or psychic powers, abilities that let them surpass adults in a more intuitive way. So, as he's explaining here, is that Tsurumaki suggests that the rise of video games, where you can control characters just by using a controller, has come to satisfy the desire for empowerment among newer generations of kids, replacing the role of robot anime that played such a huge role in his generation. So we'll scroll down.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense. Why would? Okay, wait. I don't. Please, maybe you guys can explain this to me. How does that make kids not want to be in a mecha robot? If anything, the video game should heighten or like entice even more wanting to be in a mecha robot.
I'm sorry, but what's stopping them from making a pilot mech anime mixed with modern flavor? Sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. It doesn't. I don't get it. He's saying video games are the reason why, or video games now are more of the reason why. If I'm hearing this right, maybe I'm hearing it wrong. Video games are more of the reason why most kids don't want to be in a mecha pilot. Don't want to be a mecha pilot or be in a giant robot. Who the fuck doesn't want to be in a giant robot? Dude, do you know how cool it is to have a mecha robot in your backyard? Do you know how many times I'll be in there more than be doing artwork? I will try to figure out how to, like, not only pilot it, but understand it, what's wrong with it. If I had a giant Gundam in my backyard...
If the argument is that people have supernatural abilities, I could give my mech pilot some abilities.
Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had a literal Gundam in my backyard, I would probably quit doing artwork. I'm dead serious. I would want to be a mecha pilot and understand it and do, like, mechanic work. I would love to learn the mechanics of my robot. It will be fucking, like, I know it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be long, it's gonna be probably tedious and hard. Like, it's gonna be a mix of, like, programming, engineering, everything under the sun just to make that thing work. You know how much fun it would be to be in there for hours working on my mecha
like Lelouch of the Rebellion literally is an anime about a guy with a superpowered ability that pilots a mech.
True. Well, he does pilot a mech. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I wouldn't say that he technically knows how to pilot mechs just because of that.
Argument is nonsense.
But then again, I will say, like, because I seen the show, because, like, his whole shtick was, like, know how to manipulate people to do what he bids on people. But the powers he gets has nothing to do with the Gundams. The thing about those Gundams is, like, they're very fancy looking, I would at least say. Let's be honest, majority of all mecha pilot robots are just derived from Gundam one way or another. So I don't know what he's talking about, because if I had to choose playing video games and this is probably just me, if I had to choose playing, like, Fortnite and video games and learn how to engineer my literal giant robot mech, I would do that.
But the writer is saying that people don't like the mech anime because other anime have super abilities and so on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I
said that's nonsense because you can just give your pilots unique abilities.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about, because, like, I don't think that's a problem. Even if you add, like, a little sci-fi element of, like, abilities and stuff, I think they call it new types in Gundam. I don't think that makes much of a. It makes a difference, I guess, but it doesn't make much of a difference. It's still the new types are still kind of treated as, like, regular pilots anyway. They just have more heightened awareness. Let's just put it that way, right? That makes them a little bit more lethal on the battlefield. Fine, but when you really think of it, they're still human. They can still be defeated. They can still die. It's not like they're unstoppable, like, right? So anyone that's a new type in, like, Gundam can still be defeated, just with a little bit more finesse. Let's just say it that way.
And so,
bro just has aim assist on. He has aim assist on, but he doesn't have, like, pure wall hacks. Let's just put it that way.
About it. He says, I don't think those kids understand what it means to pilot a robot. For now, the generations that grew up admiring bikes and cars are still active, but in another 10 years, even the Gundam series might not survive. I had already felt this while working on Evangelion,
JR asks,
but
like,
there
you
was a
ever
need
watched the Gundam Battle Tournament show where they had to pilot their Gundams by standing up and moving their bodies instead of sitting in a seat?
Oh, I think either you're talking about that one Gundam when they're doing like the toys, or you're talking about G Gundam with Domon, where they're standing up and they're in those suits. I like the I'm surprised they have not rebooted that. I love Domon and G Gundam. G Gundam was one of the reasons why I even like Gundam. Like, I liked Gundam Wing when growing up, but it was just super political, and I had the attention span of a fish back then as a kid. Like, I didn't want all that fucking talking. Don't get me wrong, the characters look cool and stuff, and the Gundams, but I didn't care for that geopolitical nonsense and shit at the time as a kid. I was literally 5 or some shit. I didn't care for any of that. But, like, when it came to, like, G Gundam, when they treat it more like a tournament, like, wrestling match type thing, that was more fun to watch because it was like literally people and robots, and they're more active. So they're just sitting in the pilot and doing shit. I think they kind of stole that a little bit in Pacific Rim to a degree, but it looks very westernized.
JR said, I think it was G Gundam.
Yeah, with Domon and his friends. I really enjoyed that. I love G Gundam with the shining finger, or shining palm. No, a shining finger. I really did enjoy that anime more. I suggest, if, like, my 3 favorite Gundam series is G Gundam, Gundam Wing, and Iron Blood Brothers. I like that because I like the Gundams in general. Like, I like like, my favorite Gundam of all time is Barbatos. The G Gundam, or I don't know if there's a particular, and then the Waltz Gundam. I think the Gundam Wing, the one with the wings. And if anything outside those Gundams, I like the Zeo type Gundam, the red ones. Those are really
JR
cool.
asks, Iron-Blooded Orphans, you mean?
Yeah, there you go. I thought it was Iron Blood. No, I mix Iron Blood Orphans with with Full Metal with the title.
To update them, there is rather a need to update robots. So the situation that they're finding themselves in at Sunrise, as apart from Gundam, is that the, go to war in a giant robot thing has kind of ran its course.
Did it really?
I can't deny that. I am a bit bored with the UC. Oh no, what's Xeon? What's Neo Xeon doing now?
Okay, I can understand where he comes from, but
Gotten very
to a degree.
I don't know, Saturday morning cartoon, I guess. They feel more like Power Ranger villains than adversaries in a war. And the same thing with the Titans. Oh no, what are the Neo-Titans up to now? Horrible things, I'm sure. One of the alluring things about Gundam outside of the cool robots was that both sides were sort of presented with an equal reason to be involved in the conflict. And that mattered to a lot of people, especially me, because I enjoy that kind of world building behind the giant robot. But there are still a great deal of people.
I don't know what it is. It's probably just me, but I feel like he's only saying that because now they're pushing more to our female audience. I think he's saying that, not this white guy. I'm talking about the dude who made the comment in the article. I think he's only saying that because I don't know what is the entire. I know why they want females in most, I won't say Western, but like I know why most industries would love to have females into their industries to buy and sell, because women buy more than men. So if they have a female audience in the Gundam space, they're more likely to buy probably their models, which is probably unlikely. I'm not saying there's no women who don't buy models, but I'm saying the likelihood them putting something like a Louis Vuitton bag over like a Gundam Wing type model is very unlikely to happen. But I don't understand this mindset. Like, you have to know your audience. We all know, and let's be honest what it is. Women are not into robots. I'm talking about a demographic wise. Majority of women are not into giant robots as if men are. They're just not. Like, there could be, so for like if it was 1 million people, I would say about probably 200,000 or probably even 100,000 women, I will say that, let's just use an example, will be into Gundam. or into buying Gundam products. I'm not even saying being into
JR
Gundam.
said this is a simple solution. Write a better story.
That is true. That is true. But what they really want them is to buy their merch, and I think that's where this is really happening. It's not really like watching the shows, because that goes so far. But I think because most of the time it's trying to sell merch some way, somehow. It's really hard to get someone. You will more likely get a girl buy a Saja Boys shirt, keychain or something, compared to a Mikazuki like keychain or something, because you have to be really in that niche and understand, right? Compared to a Saja Boys.
Asks, are you advocating for Yaoi Gundam?
No. I'm saying like the fact that most girls are going to buy, because most cases, most of them like men, and they do like men to an extent that feels surface level to them. So like the Saja Boys are the typical like archetype of like K-pop, good-looking men singing. That's it. For other men watching like Mikazuki doing his thing and Hero from Gundam Wing doing their thing, it's a little bit different. There's not like, oh, he's a cool dude. No, there's layers to this character to a degree. Unlike Saja Boys, they're just singing demon dudes who just look kind of attracted to them. That's it. That's literally it. They don't care about those understanding of value or what men are into, like that in a built-in system, and then in a built-in way. So like it's gonna be hard to get.
Asks, do you think the girls would watch a K-pop Gundam fighting demon slayers?
I wouldn't put it past it, but it would. I wouldn't put it past it to a degree. I know you're somewhat memeing and joking on that to a degree, but I wouldn't put it past it, because hearing like if the movie didn't come out and you hear K-pop, demon hunters, whatever it's called, you would think, oh, that sounds stupid, right? That sounds like you're just ripping off from Demon Slayer and just putting K-pop. Like it's like when you hear that, you hear Demon Slayer with Tanjiro and friends dancing and singing, right? So I wouldn't put it past them. Now, would that make them buy a mech? Or buy a mech model? Probably not. But they'll most likely buy the pilot who's wearing it if they're dancing and singing. That's a sad fact to it. Like it's like if the wheel rolls, it works, right? So therefore, even if I put stamps, if I put certain graphics on the wheel, if as long as the wheel rolls, it does its job. So even if you change the concept, saying Gundam Slayers, K-pop, whatever in it, as long as the characters are surface level to them to understand to a degree, they don't care about the story per se. Because like, let's be honest, no girl is actually caring about the story, because the story is pretty basic to itself. It doesn't do anything brand new in any way when you watch the movie. Because I seen the movie with the girlfriend; she wanted me to watch with her. So when we watched it, I was like, oh, this is just a straightforward movie. Same thing with what do you call it? Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie, is not that complex. It's pretty straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Same thing as John Wick. It's really straightforward. The thing that makes people watch these movies is well-written characters and a straightforward movie that you can get behind or understand. Even if it's complicated, if you write the characters likable, the complicatedness of the story will ease through much easily. So if you have a complicated, say, Final Fantasy story, but the characters are very enduring, they're very nice, they're very well written, they're designed very well, you'll be surprised on how many people can actually get behind a show that is so complicated in any which way.
JR said okay, but that stair falling scene in John Wick is crazy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, so I think, honestly, I don't think video games are the reason. I think the focus is that you guys are trying to get girls into this, and it's not panning out the way you wanted. Especially when they try to do that Yuri, that Yuri anime with the witch or something. They try to push that agenda. Now they changed the lore that they're not really, the two girls are not married anymore. They're just very good friends. Because now things change. They have to change it back to what they really... So like it is what it is. So like they kind of realize like this is not working out. I don't think trying to cater to women about geopoliticals, futuristic Gundams, and political powers type stuff is not working with war and stuff. I don't think it's getting girls to actually buy, much less watch. If anything, more men are watching and seeing this and probably buying this compared to women anyway. That's the irony, just like the Marvels. More men went to go see the Marvels when the Marvels told them don't come watch our shit because we hate y'all. And more men went than women did. Remember, this was a movie that was focusing on women on 3 different aspects of race, identity, and everything under the sun, and being a girl boss. Girl boss, identity, and race. The black woman, the Middle Eastern woman, and the white woman. What's her name? Brie Larson, who plays as Captain America. 3 different type of women, and only men went to go see.
Nah, bro, they need to go full nerd, full specs in the anime. More nerds will buy if they go full nerd.
Go full nerd.
I just want to see robots blow each other up in the context of war. This is where Sunrise finds themselves. As Tsurumaki was explaining here, there are people that are, his age, mine, and yours, that are still interested in giant robots. Like, take a look at this post we made over on the Bounding X account. We have right here, it's at Bounding Comics, by the way, in case you're trying to find us.
I don't know. Zoids was something my cousin liked. I don't know. Something about Zoids never really spoke to me. Like, it's cool from a distance, but it's not something I want to pilot. I want to pilot the giant mech robot that looks like me. I don't know why. Well, it doesn't look like me, but like it looks like something I would pilot. Like a giant dog thing or lion thing is cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like if I had to choose between the lion and the humanoid looking robot, I think I'll pick the humanoid looking robot. I think that's just like a naturability or something at that point. But like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my preference alone. Maybe I think differently.
We got that weird name. It's at Bounding Comics. Apparently we forgot the into part. I don't know. Anyway, why do you think that Zoids failed to take off in the USA? Are animal robots not cool? Now feel free to answer that question.
No, I think a reason why Zoids failed compared to Gundam is because it came off too childlike, I think. There was no real true, well, there was conflict in the show, but I don't think there was like conflict like a El Rekka or like a Code Geass or like Gundam. Shit, like Gurren Lagann was some, I don't say political. It was pretty straightforward. I wouldn't say the word political. That's reaching at that point. But like shows like Code Geass and Eureka 7, those are more political driven type shows. Like Eureka tries to play itself as if it's not political to a degree, but it does, because obviously how it's presented itself. Like at first it starts the way it does, and then you start realizing it's more political than it leads off to be. But in a way that it's digestible. It's not like too insane to the point like it's so complicated. But yeah, I think the reason why Zoids came off as a failure is because it came off too childlike. And I'm not talking about because of giant robots and stuff. I just think how the story was written. It was just like, like I kind of seen this before in like another show, even with or without the robots, and it just feels like the Chosen One type response. Like, okay, I seen the Chosen One, he's the Chosen One. I think it's I think the dude's name was Lan, I think, if I remember right. Like, he's the Chosen One, and he found this specific thing that makes him ride this robot, or under circumstances why he needs to ride this robot and why he's destined for this. Like after that kind of just it's more of land than is the robot. The robot is just the apparatus to why he's there. So
down in the comments below for yourself, but a lot of people replied in the affirmative that no, actually Zoids was really cool. We really enjoyed that shit. That was the best thing in the world. This guy says dinosaur robots are effing awesome. Check it out. I always liked Zoids. IDK, Beast Wars was really popular when I was a kid. And this guy says, I loved Zoids as a kid. I thought they were so badass, even bought the GameCube game for it. I have that, by the way. I just don't know where my GameCube and games are. When I find it, we are going to play Zoids. I promise you, we're going to play Zoids. I'll figure out how to make it happen. Because it's an important extension of that idea of Gundam, because Zoids did 2 things, all right? The American side that got it anyway. When we finally got Zoids, it was a very evolved thing. When they had it in Japan, it wasn't so evolved rather. So when you look at Liger Zero, for instance, right? when you look at Liger Zero, you go, ah, yes, this is the Zoid that competed in a sort of battle royale tournament ranking game where you have to physically overcome other Zoids at the risk of being blown the fuck up. There was a lot of logic leaping going on in those early attempts at getting Zoids off the ground, and it didn't really take off here in the West, unfortunately. But I think that Gundam could learn a lot from Zoids, and in fact, I think, you have to let me know in the comments below if this is a good idea or not.
They don't need to learn anything from Zoids. All you need to do is just reboot G Gundam. Give it a new coat of paint like you guys did with Yaiba and what do you call it? Conan and Detective Conan and like Hunter x Hunter and what do you call it? Full Metal Alchemist. Just give it a new paint job.
I think that they already have a partnership. You already have Takara Tomy working with Bandai to make more Zoids models through the Bandai factory. So that's it's good stuff. So why don't we just take that one step further and drag Gundams onto Planet Z? You remember good old Planet Z? That's where this happened. That's where Van and the Blade Liger happened. Remember Zeke and Van and the Death Soarer. Remember that? Well, why don't we throw Gundams into the middle of that? What's the problem with that? They already had a war, so it's not like the Zoids have never had a war. We'll just take it back to that time in the franchise and toss Gundams into the middle of it. We've already proven that they can cross dimensions, create hollow realities, that new types are basically just whatever they want to be in the moment. Remember Lala Soon? The whole reason why we have Gundam GQX is because of Lala Soon wanting to protect Char so much that she created an entirely different universe where he didn't die. One person did that. I find it hard to believe that a new type couldn't create a gateway to Planet Z. It doesn't even need to be in another universe. Planet Z is so far away from Earth in its own setting that it can simply be a far-off colony that's so way away from Earth that Earth stuff doesn't really affect it. So while Gundam UC is still happening over here, 5 or 10 Gundams get dumped onto Planet Z by accident because a new type has a headache. Why not? And here it is. You could have Liger Zero and, RX-79 kicking ass side by side. Bit Cloud and Amuro Ray going at it. I don't know. I'd like to see Char and a Genosaur. What about you? Have to let me know down in the comments below what you think. I really like Zoids. I really like the concept of animal robots that compete. The war thing was a little weird for me, but I understand that they're just making use of what's available to them and that the Zoids kind of pre-existed the humans on this planet, so it's okay to use them as the weapon because they were already killing each other to begin with. It's a big thing with Zoids as to whether or not they're alive or not, and that's another thing with Gundam, the ghost in the machine, right? So, these two franchises already have so much in common. I really think Sunrise should look into doing like a season's worth of seasons, series worth of series of Gundams encountering Zoids and the fallout from that. Because the Zoids do everything the Gundams do. They've got the big old fuck you blaster in the mouth. They've got all that, right? So I think that's a really good move for them to make. You'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments below about it. And also, guys, do you really think that Gundams run out of gas? I think so, but it's not like it doesn't have the ability to do something different. I just think that the UC, the Universal Century, where Amuro and Char are just constantly beating each other's asses all the time, I think it's just kind of run its course. It's been around since the 70s. It's kind of done everything it can. I mean, at this point, they quite literally restarted the universe in front of us in order to keep telling this story. That's what they did. They just rebooted that thing and then undid it because, it's part of the plot to have it undone.
Okay, we got the point. I think he beat the dead horse. I think we got that point already. Now, let's move on from this. Is anyone over there on TikTok? I'm going to turn TikTok off. I'm at the point where I'm just sick of TikTok at this point. Bro, you're the only one over there on TikTok? Because if you're the only one, I'm going to turn off TikTok and you can come over here on Twitch or YouTube. And then I'll just play something a lot more fun.
Kofi Streambot said visit Artextric's Kofi page at...
Let's see here.
On doing with each release. I mean...
Okay, it says Nintendo has completely lost their minds. Palworld gets revenge.
The Nintendo Switch 2 has already become one of the fastest selling consoles of all time, despite it not really doing anything different for a Nintendo
Rick's
console.
official said be a
Something
support
the
hero
company
today
used to
by
pride
using
themselves on
commands
doing
like
with each release.
support.
I mean, look at the 3DS and how it simulated 3D. Or the Wii U gamepad, to name just a few. I mean, the Switch 2 has still sold gangbusters, but there's still problems. So, in this video, I want to cover the newest news surrounding the keycard situation, and then I want to talk about Nintendo's ongoing lawsuit with Palworld, and how that is changing as well. So to catch you up quick, in case you don't really know, Nintendo has basically screwed over anyone who isn't a first-party developer for the Nintendo Switch 2. This all comes down to keycards, the little physical cartridges you pop into your Switch to play your games. Before, on the original Switch, this problem wasn't really as prevalent. Most games came with the actual game installed on the cartridge already, meaning you could just pop it in and play whatever game you wanted to play. With the Switch 2 though, this has now changed for the worse, and everyone pretty much agrees with this. I think that's safe to say. Now, most physical keycards for the Switch 2, they don't actually have the game on them. You instead pop the thing in, and then you're prompted to download the game digitally. This has become effectively the worst of both worlds, and it's causing serious money backlash.
That's not good.
That's putting that lightly. And this has been going on for a while now too. Like, look at this from Nintendo Life back in May this year. Nintendo even then had zero plans to ever do the keycard digital code nonsense thing for their own first-party games. Which, unsurprisingly, is why their first-party game sells so well, because the game is actually on the thing when you buy it. Imagine being a physical game collector for Switch 2 right now, outside of those first-party titles, and a very few select other games that are third-party. Why would you buy anything physical ever from Nintendo ever again? And also, if you enjoy the content, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to keep up to date on all the godforsaken news to come. Thank you, and back to keycards. If you do this, you're just putting a plastic case on your shelf that doesn't even have the game on it. This would be like buying a meal from McDonald's, getting home, opening up your Big Mac meal, and then there's no burger, but instead a code, in order to just call an Uber driver to now drive to your house to deliver the burger you just bought to you. Like, what are we even doing? For example,
what the hell?
NIS America, which does physical versions of many Japanese RPG games, is likely panicking right now because nobody is buying their Switch 2 inventory. As Stealth40k, a user who regularly posts insider data on the sales of video games, shows here, NIS's Trails Beyond the Horizon collection has only the PS4 and the PS5 version sold out. The Switch 1 version still has 75% of its inventory, and Switch 2, according to this data anyway, hasn't sold anything. Disgaea 7 on Switch 2 has also not made a single sale physically, allegedly, but still, fathom that, guys. Even if it's 99%, that's still horrible. Just imagine making all of those plastic cases, getting the keycards made for your big Switch 2 rollout, and then nothing. Nobody buys anything. Unsurprisingly, the PlayStation version sold out because the games are actually on the discs that you pay for. Switch 1, same thing, but this new console people are crazy for and nobody is buying. Yeah, this is a massive problem, guys. As this user claims here, they've heard that keycards are selling like garbage, which, yeah, that's pretty obvious to see. Then this other user would try to deflect, saying that the top games sold on Switch 2 dispel this narrative, but no, they don't. You see, Mario Kart World, Cyberpunk, and Rune Factory, as you can see there, are all natively on their keycards when you buy them on Switch 2. So, this user here actually self-owned themselves without realizing it, and you kinda love to see it. But the point of all of this is that Nintendo has completely screwed their third-party partners over by pushing this nonsense out as being normal. Especially, again, when Nintendo themselves aren't even adopting the same tactic for their games that they make in-house. This whole thing just seems genuinely stupid, honestly, and makes no sense from a marketing standpoint, because the only reason that you would do this is to push people to buy stuff digitally. But why would you want your consumer base to adopt this doctrine if Nintendo themselves aren't pushing this with their own games? Like, I get it to a degree. Nintendo wants you all to buy digitally mostly so that they can control your library, and therefore They got you in a headlock, so if you do anything shady, well, you lose everything. They basically want everyone's balls in a vice grip is why they're doing this, but it's still backwards. Even Nintendo admitted in June 2025 that they realized that physical media will never fully go away. And they only now understand the importance of having the full game on the keycard when you buy it. Wow, what a realization to have mere days before your brand new console arrives and millions of plastic keycards are being made that in fact don't have the games on them. Actual moron behavior here. As Stealth40k says here, what's happening is simply that game collectors will just choose whichever other option is the most cost effective and sensible in this case. Which is simply that if you buy Nintendo Switch 2 keycards over PlayStation versions and whatever else, you're just being bamboozled, and yeah, they're gonna think you're an idiot pretty much for buying it. And it's such a shame too, because people are most likely to buy games that they don't even really want pretty much whenever a new console drops. Like, why do you think a game like Knack on PlayStation 4 was able to sell over 2 million copies? Because people bought it because the PS4 just came out at the same time. Then they tried to replicate that success with Knack 2 after the honeymoon phase with the console was over, and yeah, it bombed alright. But what Nintendo has done here is pretty much just roundhouse kick any chance of that honeymoon overspending of eager consumers to happen right out of the gates with their brand new console here. I can't imagine how pissed their third-party publishing partners feel right now. It's got to be like when a guy who knows absolutely nothing about Bitcoin or any of that digital currency, and then he tells his parents to buy some of it at an insane price, and then the market immediately crashes and now they just disown their son for being a moron. Like, Nintendo has to make this right. But as it stands right now, it doesn't seem like they're going to be fixing much of anything about this yet. Because, as seen here on Reddit, fake keycards are already being made. And as thegamer.com puts it here, this new fake keycard situation just put the entire physical market for Switch 2 games in a state of jeopardy because it could really screw Nintendo over, not to mention the players too. To get a good real look at them, here as you can see on Reddit, it's almost impossible to tell whether the game you just bought is legit or not for the Switch 2. I mean, look at these things. Maybe I'm blind and I just can't tell, but my eyes can't tell the difference, and that's kind of the problem. Because in case you don't know, Nintendo has a way of knowing if a fake Switch 2 game is plugged into your console port. And when Nintendo is alerted that the game you're playing is fake, which they will brick your whole console. And you're probably thinking, that's not true, that hasn't happened. Well, it already did actually, as seen here back in June 2025 again. People would buy a used Switch 2 game assuming that it would have the real game in the cartridge, because I mean, who wouldn't? And then they would pop it in and then boom, they're banned. So yes, there's Switch 2 owners out here buying Switch 2 games, taking the physical cards out, replacing them with a fake one while keeping the real one to themselves. Then they're returning the game to say GameSpot, Best Buy, wherever, and then that game gets resold back to someone else for a discounted price. They think, wow, I got a deal on a brand new game, and now all they have is a $400 piece of plastic that's about as useless as a Magic card. So, with this new development, it means besides keycards being sold with no games on it, your other alternative is fake games with the games on it that just make your console pass away. Again, remind me why people even buy games on the Switch 2 again, because this entire system is backwards. Because Nintendo is greedy and they just want to control everything, dude. And honestly, this problem will just get worse with time. And the only way that you can truly keep yourself from not bricking your Switch 2 is by buying games digitally. Which just means you're now at the mercy of Nintendo not banning you for any reason that they feel like, otherwise you'll lose your entire library. Don't you love modern gaming? Doesn't this fill you with joy? Isn't it great to own nothing and live every moment? Just hoping that a glitch or something else doesn't just rob you of thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of gameplay in an instant? God, I miss the Super Nintendo back in the 90s. It used to be so simple, man. I mean, it could be worse, I guess. You could be a third-party publisher releasing your games on the Switch and panicking because nobody is buying your products. Again, from June this year, it's horrific out here for anyone who isn't Nintendo selling on a Nintendo system. And ultimately, because Nintendo wants to push their digital-only future, it has now led to abysmal sales. Right there in the pink as you can see, horrible news, dude. This is honestly why I never bought a Switch 2 despite owning every other console at some point in my life that Nintendo has made, besides the Wii U. I never bought that one, but who cares? I mean, I even bought the first Switch a week after it first came out. Now I just can't justify it. Why would I? I'll just stick to the PS5. At least there, if I buy a game physically, I have it, and my games will load faster than whatever Nintendo is doing over there right now. But that's not even where this all ends. Let's now talk about Pal World and Nintendo. Another can of worms. Oh boy. So, long story short, in case you don't know, Nintendo wants to sue Pocket Pair for infringing on gameplay mechanics from their Pokemon series within Pal World. This has now led to a massive lawsuit where everything hangs in the balance. Currently, it's not going well for Nintendo at all. They've actually changed the legal wordings of their patents mid-lawsuit, which is not a good sign. And Pocket Pair, despite Nintendo trying to ruin them, is full steam ahead trying to turn Pal World into a bona fide global phenomenon. As seen here from Games Radar, Nintendo is now pissed that Pal World is teaming up with none other than Sony, yeah, PlayStation, to make a big push into the collectible card market with Pal World, as seen here from automaton.com. Pocket Pair has actually bought shares from Bushiroad CEO Takaki Kidani. Bushiroad, in case you don't know, is a very big Japanese company that works in the video game space and, more importantly, card space for various other franchises. So Pocket Pair has bought millions of shares from the CEO, meaning now the CEO no longer has as much power over what happens at Bushiroad in terms of voting price and all that, but he frankly probably doesn't care because he made his money anyways. And as seen here, Kidani sold 4 of his 7 million shares to Pocket Pair alone, which is, yeah, that's a big deal, alright. And the point of this is that Pocket Pair wants to now turn Pal World into a legit counter to Pokemon worldwide in every sense of the word. So by acquiring this massive stake in Bushiroad, it paves the way for Pal World to now get a full trading card franchise, which I think we all know how popular and expensive Pokemon cards have become in recent years. Just go to any convention and see what I mean. Charizard goes for like thousands of dollars now. But this will also lead to Pal World allegedly also getting into figurines, made of their characters, merchandise in general, cross-media tie-ins with other cards and whatnot, and other promotional event stuff too. So will it show up in like Fortnite or something? I don't know. Could be cool. It's a possibility now at least. And this also coincides with Pocket Pair starting an arm of Pal World called Pal World Entertainment. And ignore my Finnish update thing, okay? I know I need to update my browser. I'm just lazy. But anyways, as you can see here, this is just another chess piece being moved by Pocket Pair to make Pal World into a legit mega franchise that could rival Pokemon. And again, they're working with Sony on this too. So if you're Nintendo and you see one of your biggest rivals in PlayStation now working with the series that you want erased from existence because you claim that it impeaches on your Pokemon franchise, and now you're seeing them gaining shares in companies meant to now encroach outside of games into physical media to rival you, yep, Nintendo is probably very pissed about this, no doubt about it, and good, honestly. Because Nintendo, like I already showed you, is backwards. They can't claim the moral high ground here even if they tried. And it's about time that Pokemon had some legit competition, because just taking one look at the newest Pokemon game, which is $80 American by the way, or in Canada it retails at $100 before taxes, and no, I am not kidding. Which is genuinely absolutely insane to pay for a game that looks like this. That is crazy. Like, this game is really $100 here in Canada. Nintendo is out of their minds, man. A game that looks and runs like this when Battlefield 6 is $80 in Canada by comparison. Insane, dude. But this is what I mean, and why this is good. Nintendo needs the competition, because they've gotten so lazy when it's come to Pokemon. Because they haven't really had any competition that can make them change their ways at all. I mean, Digimon tried and pretty much failed, so here we are. And look at Legends gameplay. Wow, your Pokemon can auto-battle now. Incredible. Revolutionary even. Remind me again why this is worth $100, and it's Nintendo, so it'll never go on sale either. Because as we all know, Nintendo is allergic to discounting their first-party games like ever. But what makes this whole thing even weirder is that Nintendo has let a certain game slip into their eShop that looks to rip off Pal World even down to the name, which is kind of crazy, as seen here from Games Radar. Pal Land, that's not a typo, has arrived on Nintendo Switch recently, and taking one look at it, it's like a poor man's Pal World, that looks like it came out 15 years ago. Palland's official description reads, a captivating survival, building, and exploration game where everything starts with a humble base, and you can capture creatures to help you, which is, yep, a lot like Palworld. However, this does not mean that Palland can't exist, even if its name is also, very similar to Palworld 2. And if Pocket Pair doesn't want to be seen as hypocrites here, they should probably not sue Palland, because if they do that, it could even muddy the legal battle procedures surrounding their battle with Pokemon right now. Like, oh, you can't, sue us because we're like Pokemon, but you're suing Palland? It's a mess. But I mean, what would happen then? A game comes out called, I don't know, Pallot or Pal School, and then Palland sues them too in the future? At that point, we're in like an Inception level suing event here. It would make no sense. But looking at Palland, clearly, I mean, based on the gameplay you're seeing here, the game is, well, it looks terrible. Like, let's be real, this looks awful, dude. Like, what even is this? But that being said, it is interesting that Nintendo allowed Palland to pass its authentication process for sale on the eShop. Considering how it looks and plays, I mean, it also technically rips off Pokemon, but it's likely just a big FU to Palworld more than anything else if I had to wager. Because in case you don't know, Palworld is not available on Switch. I know, shocker, for good reason with the whole legal dispute going on. But I think the real reason why Nintendo doesn't want Palworld on Switch is pretty simple. Because it would both expose and make Nintendo fans quickly realize how lazy Nintendo and Game Freak have been when it comes to Pokemon for years. And then their eyes and their brain chemistry would be permanently opened and changed if they played Palworld, especially on a Switch 2. Because remember, Palworld is only $38 Canadian right now. Yeah, you could buy Palworld twice and still have money left over instead of buying Nintendo's new cash grab Pokemon game this fall. I am running out of air to speak. So like I said, Nintendo wants Palworld gone because it just exposes them harshly. It's a game with more content than most Pokemon games. It has free updates and full expansions, which Nintendo doesn't do. They instead charge an arm and a leg for the expansions to their Pokemon games. I'm looking at you, Sword and Shield. And everything Palworld is, threatens the existence of Pokemon pretty much, is what I'm saying. And now that Palworld is moving into trading cards, allegedly anyway, this will just make Nintendo even more angry. Because now, if that were to happen, Nintendo has to share retail space in stores and hobby shops with Palworld's creations alongside theirs. And knowing Pocket Pair, if their flagship game is half the price of modern Pokemon games, I would wager that their cards and their packs will probably charge less than Pokemon is doing as well too. And at that point, Nintendo might just send ninjas to Pocket Pair HQ to just clean that place out before long. But hey, I don't feel bad for Nintendo. I mean, they did this to themselves. If they're not pushing key cards that have nothing on them and then banning people for buying games they don't even know are fake in the first place, they're also trying to crush their competition with their wallets and forcing you to pay $100 for this slop that looks like it came out 10 years ago at best. Like, look at this, dude. $100 for this. You gotta be kidding me. But honestly, Nintendo has all of this coming to them, And I hope Palworld continues to expand, if not for any other reason, then just to make Nintendo's executives show the world just how much of a cartoon villain they really are. But I think that's enough for now. I talked enough. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to keep up to date as always, and I'll see you next time.
Issue is when not only like the likelihood of an African slave to be taken to another country and also be his orientation to be different of
Crash
being
out
heteros.
Rick said WSP.
Hey, what's up, Rick? How you doing, bro? The likelihood of that being is very unlikely within the time frame of that, or at least the time period. I understand we can still like bend things to a degree because it's not 100% like true, but the likelihood of that being a thing will be probably close to nothing or so. in feudal Japan of all
Crashman
things.
_ said I'm good just playing Mario plus Rabbids game.
I got you. I can't really speak on the female ninja thing because I'm pretty sure female ninjas did exist at one point, but like, no, I can't really speak on that to be honest. But I'm talking about the Yasuke issue. I'm good. I'm playing Mario plus Rabbids game. What's that? It's 6:45. I think at 7 o'clock we'll play video games because it's been a slow. Flynn Vassins, is that? Is that Flynn? Yo, this is Flynn Vassins. Is that Flynn? I'm gonna ask Flynn next time he's on. It's like, hey, this is Flynn Vassins. Yeah, so when it hits 7 o'clock we'll play video games because it doesn't seem like anyone's really in the mood of like watching me do art. Well, I'm not drawing any anime titties, so that's probably why. I'm not gonna be honest with you on that one. I hate this guy. Let's see here. Now let's see if my speakers will work because I'm getting tired of my speakers, yo. Horror movie that actually are terrifying. Let's see here. Stop it. The Mr. Beast situation is embarrassing. So Mr. Beast is in some type of issue. This is from Jamari, the Tan Superman. So apparently he's talking about the Mr. Beast situation. I don't know what's going on with Mr. Beast, so this is gonna be new to me, to anyone who's listening to this. I have nothing against Mr. Beast. Some people do. And I don't really understand what he has done that makes him like horrible. But I guess he has done some things because I don't think any YouTuber or creator is ever like isn't totally squeaky clean from anything. But I haven't heard anything really that bad about him. I know they do like crypto shit, but that's as far as I hear. But just because you do crypto doesn't make you a bad person. It has just a bad association to most things, I would say. But it's not actually bad if you're into crypto. If you're doing ethically and all that stuff, that's one thing. But I don't think it's a bad thing if you're into crypto or using crypto to like do your thing. Because I know he works with Logan Paul and stuff, and a lot of people don't like that because if Logan Paul's involved, you usually know it's some form of scam. So I understand why people might make that association. So yeah. I'm gonna play this and see where this takes us. So hold on, I'm gonna show you guys on the screen, and then we will go play video games. Since my team has not came in, I don't think we're gonna play Overcooked. So I might just play Solo Peak, maybe. We'll see. Or Fate Trigger. I don't know. I think I'll just play Peak. I don't feel like being stressed the fuck out to play a game with anime chicks today. True, Assassin's Creed does get away with it's because it's historical fiction and not actually because the whole lore of AC changes plays in with historical. Yeah, see, that's like Washington, like George Washington being like a crazy maniacal maniac dictator, like that right there goes off the board of things. But the you gotta go with the likelihood if we're gonna change history, right? Like that's what makes it fun to play Assassin's Creed. It can go batshit crazy, but it has to be a batshit crazy that has to make like at least sense to forced groom to, or a case may be. But I know they said there was some situations that was going on back in those times where they were doing like the monks was doing things with the children, but this is an emperor, so like I don't know the likelihood of that happening would like the likelihood of that happening is really unlikely. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but the likelihood.
Froze there for a bit on YouTube.
Huh? What happened? Hard froze there a bit on YouTube. Wait, you did or me? Hope I didn't freeze. But like the likelihood of that happening, him being LGBT and a slave and a person of color and a lot of other things and becoming a samurai, those are very unlikely things to happen in like even if that was written in a fictional setting or non-fiction, fictional thing. I think non-fiction. Like I think fictional means not real. I hate that. I hate the fact that they have that on the flip side. Fiction should be real and non-fiction should be not real. Kind of makes fucking sense, but like, I don't know why we call it non-fiction and make that non-fiction is real and fiction is not real. That, I mean, is fiction is real and yeah, fiction is real and non-fiction is, no, I said that right. Non-fiction is, am I saying it wrong? Non-fiction is real and fiction is real, I think. If I'm saying it right. I think I said it backwards, but you get what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. I hate that. I hate that in school. God damn. I still think I said it wrong. But yeah. So this is Mr. Beast. I'm gonna show you guys on the screen. Hold on. That's where I can see where it can end up being pretty political to a degree where they're pushing something, because the likelihood of that even being a thing will be unlikely. And then he works with a Asian woman who's a ninja at the same time. I'm like, nah, I don't think that's no. And he's like this oversized black man who's just taking on all these different warriors and stuff. I'm like, nah. Nah. And become a samurai too. I was like, you let a slave become a samurai? Like, whether he's black or not, like, there's slaves in Asia too, that back in those times, back in those days. So you just let a slave become a samurai.
JR said non-fiction equals non-fabricated, while fiction equals fabricated/invention.
Okay. I hate that though. It should be the other way around. Non-fiction means not real, and then fiction means real. That's how it just kind of makes sense. Like non-fiction. You know what I'm saying? Like not real. I wish it was that way. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. That's one. And then turn over here. Where's the other one? Picture in picture. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is the Mr. Beast situation. I guess Mr. Beast is some type of problem. This is from Jamari, the Tan Superman. He has 1.38 million subscribers. So, if you've ever seen him, this is your first time
seeing him.
You're
thinking about it backwards. Instead of the word not, think of fabricated, which one is fabricated and which one is not /
I'll try to.
Last talked about Mr. Beast. We all know that he was the hottest news story on YouTube last year when his best friend Chris got...
For those who are on Instagram, if you want to hear this story, come to YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch. You'll be able to see and hear and still see the artwork. If you want to see it like through the mobile, go to YouTube. If you want to see it like Twitch with a big screen, it'll look like this. I'll be right here in the corner. I'll be right there in the corner, and you'll be right here seeing the story as I'm doing artwork right over here. So if you're on Twitch, you can see it there. If you're on YouTube, TikTok, you can see it there. But if you're on YouTube, you'll see it like a mobile thing, like a split screen thing, like JR is watching it from. So there you go. I don't know if I should keep things still on the mobile. Maybe I should put things back like how Twitch has it, but I don't know.
Exposed for his past actions with kids in their community. And then of course that guy Dogpack came out with his multi-part series where he attempted to take him down altogether.
Hi, I wanted to provide some context to this video. I'm a former Mr. Beast employee, and today I am alleging that the company rigged videos and did illegal lotteries and sold fake signatures. I would consider that fraud, okay? Thank you, enjoy the video.
And so everyone was hating on Jimmy for a couple of months. I actually heard that Pegasus bought a mansion with all the slop he made. And then the situation just kind of concluded when Oompaville would interview Mr. Beast for 2.5 hours, lobbing this man softball after softball with very limited pushback.
Did you think it would get this big? No, I mean, truthfully, I honestly thought a lot of people would find like the information proving the dishonesty earlier.
The Google?
Yeah, like, because a lot of this could have been, just figured out Google. A lot of this.
And that was
Kofi
essentially the
Springbok
end of
said
that
visit
situation.
Artextric's Kofi page
Yes,
at-
Mr. Beast may have lost some steam temporarily, but I feel like he has largely recovered, and most of that is now in the past. It's not like he lost his major deal with Amazon. And I will also say, this guy Dogpack is pretty much MIA. I think he was spooked away by a potential lawsuit.
Are you going to sue Dogpack? Caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. Don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably gonna have to. I mean,
and historically, the other criticism of Mr. Beast has been the way he does his charity, and really how he frames his content. Like, even Meat Canyon has gotten in on the action when it comes to taking the piss out of Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, yes! I want you to have $50,000. Take it! Also a Tesla. Don't forget about the Tesla. I know how much you need a car, little boy. Oh, this is premium content. Yes!
This all has caused people to claim that he is literally the Antichrist, as people see his style as exploitative in nature, basically saying that Jimmy has built a billion-dollar brand by showcasing the suffering of others for eventual profit for himself.
Yeah, but wait, you have to put something in perspective. He is profiting doing these videos, but is he not helping? Is it helping? Is it making a difference? Like, I don't give a fuck if the dude made $1 billion if he helped cure the blindness of a man. Not a lot of people can do that, or at least help with that. You know what I'm saying? So, I know in a weird way, some people don't like that because it feels exploitative. I get it, but when you really think of it, isn't the person who he's giving money to, or whatever case may be, are they not benefiting from it too? I can't speak today. Like, if someone was homeless right now, I wouldn't say like a homeless person who's on drugs, but just a homeless person because they lost their job or something like that. I'm not talking about someone who's on drugs or anything like that. I'm talking about someone who's just literally on the street, who's not on drugs like that. The likelihood they might be on drugs might be, but then again, I'm saying someone who's not on drugs, who is homeless. If you give him like $50,000, now if you give them $50,000, I'm not sure if they're gonna be responsible for that money, but you know tomorrow that they can sleep tomorrow in a hotel and then try to get their lives back together, or at least use the money in a responsible way, hopefully. But 9 times out of 10, they probably won't, maybe. But then again, it's like, I gave my part to that person. Now it's their job to make the right decisions for themselves. If they choose to use the money and blow it off on booze and bitches, then that's one thing, and cocaine, there's nothing I could do. But like, it is what it is. Is the person that he's giving money to, or the people that he's helping, are they not benefiting from what he's doing? Should he not be rewarded for the things he do? Does he always have to do anything for free? I don't think so. Cops don't do anything for free. They do it because they get paid, and they want to make a difference in their area, just like any doctor will. No doctor wants to just operate on someone and diagnose someone for free and then, do it for free. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to do anything for free. No one does anything truly for free. There is some form, I don't want to say all the time there's an underlying reason, but like, it could be a psychological thing. Maybe some people like the feeling of like they did something good that should be good for them. But sometimes it's like, not everyone wants to do anything for free. Not all the time.
I mean, truthfully, I do not really watch enough of his content to feel any type of way about it. But I will say that something about the guy and his lack of emotions and his dead eyes does really creep me out on a personal level. It's almost...
That has nothing to do with anything. Just because he looked dead to you doesn't mean anything. That's just a personal issue with you. That has nothing to do with what he does. That's like saying just because someone is ugly, therefore they give me a bad vibe, but they do everything nice to people. Maybe because they're ugly, they want to make people know that they are a nice person. Because it's horrible if you're ugly and horrible. There's two things you don't want. I think my dad said this to me. If you're going to date a girl, hopefully she's pretty. If she has a bad attitude, hope she's pretty. Because the worst thing is getting into an argument with a woman who you don't think is pretty and she's giving you a hard time. That's horrible. Hurts the eyes and the ears. That's wild.
As if Elon Musk...
No, I think that was like a relationship joke / marriage thing he was saying about, but like it was funny when he said it, and it's kind of true.
Made a Gen Z love child in a laboratory somewhere. Like, listen, Mark, we don't give a fuck if you grow your hair out and you throw on an oversized black t-shirt. You were not fooling me. I know you got reptile skin, son. Now, either way, Mr. Beast's latest philanthropy attempt has been Team Water, an initiative that hopes to provide clean water to people all around the world world who do not have access to it. So his plan is to raise $40 million to do so, and he claims that he can give 2 million people access to this water for decades on end if they do raise this money.
Is one of the 3 tanks that's going to be providing clean drinking water to over 300 people in the community.
This tank, when completed, will hold 15,000 liters of water, paired with a mechanism to clean the water, disinfect it, and make it safe to drink.
Once this is done being built, how long is the tank supposed to service the community for?
Easily for at least 15 to 20 years.
Now, over and over, he brands this by claiming that every dollar raised will result in 1 year of clean water for one person.
Which is why we need your help to raise $40 million. On average, every dollar donated will provide one person with clean water for an entire year.
Just every dollar we fundraise, we're working with a charity called WaterAid, gives a year of clean water to someone in need.
Every dollar.
Every dollar.
But at the end of the day, $1 gives one person clean water for a year.
Which honestly, I do find kind of hard to believe that he can confidently say that, because while it does sound good on paper, how would you even compute that number? I see it as psychological marketing more than anything, which is fine, like other charities do this, like adopting a kid for X amount of money, helping X amount of dogs for X amount of money, maybe we'll send you a picture of an endangered animal, maybe a t-shirt. Whatever it is, it's kind of just a way to make people feel more like they can put a tangible result behind their donation. But where people started questioning his tactics was around the time he appeared on various live streams, essentially pressuring large creators and other wealthy individuals live to donate.
Your friends here were saying you were a very generous soul.
Are you really gonna do this shit? I fucking did the McDonald's drive-thru, man. Is this gonna happen to me? Oh my god. Oh, what are you trying to get me? What are you just fucking give me a number? Just give me a number, Jimmy.
Jinxie, Logan, they both just committed $100,000, and I see tweets all the time about how you're the most watched Twitch streamer, like watch time every month. You're like crushing it.
And you know what? You know how much I get paid for that? 17 cents.
You're putting people on the spot.
Nah.
Hey, they put me on the spot too, man. And now I'm broke.
I'm not gonna donate $100,000. I'm gonna be honest. That's a lot of money.
It's fine.
So
$10 just years of clean water.
Y'all putting me on the spot. Y'all try to make me look like an asshole. That's what's going on. I know what's going on here.
And don't get me wrong, most of these people do have more money than they likely deserve, but I feel like at the end of the day, people should do what they want with their money. And I'm sure there are local or more personal causes they could donate their money to that would see a bigger impact than just blindly throwing money into this because Mr. Beast says it's good. There were others who also shared the sentiment of basically, why should I donate to this after being peer pressured to do so if Mr. Beast is going to take all the credit anyways?
Team Water, what do you think of when you think of that? You're not thinking of any other creator except Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast gets all the credit. So, you know, when he's, asking people to donate on his stream and stuff and pressuring them, and I think it's just kind of a little weird. Like, bro, when they're pressuring these creators to donate money and everything for that, I can see why some creators don't want to do it because it's Mr. Beast's name that gets all the recognition. It's not Bill Bob Jr. II donating $1 million that's going to get the recognition. It's going to be Mr. Beast raises over $10 million to Team Water.
Now this begging pattern would really escalate when he would go on a Team Water charity stream with Aiden Ross and XQC of all people, where they vowed to stay on until they reached $8 million in donations. In the end, the stream would actually last 18 hours, and they would successfully destroy their goal with $12 million donated. And this would actually set an apparent world's record, something Mr. Beast was very happy about, calling it his biggest flex. Now I will say, during the stream, Jimmy exhibited some very strange behavior, like I said, mainly when it came to pressuring people to donate.
Also, you guys pledged this money a long time ago, and everyone else already gave it. Actually, some of your boys haven't donated yet. So,
who?
I got the list. We gotta do a little bit of a shakedown.
Okay, let's do it. Let's call it out live.
You really want to know who hasn't donated yet?
Yeah, come on.
Los Polos. He pledged 100K. No 100K.
Okay, he'll do it.
I followed up with him multiple times. Kodak Black.
It wasn't him on his account. Yep, I found out.
Can he just donate 50K anyways? Young Thug.
Young Thug will do it.
Keep calm.
It's like he's using his influence and social power, and also the fact that they are on a live stream to put people on the spot to get these donations, some of which he had never even talked to a single time previously.
Debt collector here, where's that 100 G's?
Dude, what the hell?
Why
am I getting pressed like this?
Where's the 100 grand? It's 100,000 years of clean water for people in need.
Dude, I haven't streamed it. Like I said, I'm doing 100 and then whatever my chat donates. I told you that.
Okay.
Oh, he did say that though.
Okay, I forgot.
And I will say, he himself did donate over
Yo, bro.
500,000 to
Okay,
kick
now
the
I
entire
see where.
thing off.
Okay, now I see where people have a bit of an issue with him, because that was not cool. You can't put people on the spot just to donate like 100 grand. You can probably do that, but not a lot of people can do that. Even if they were like a pretty well-known streamer, they probably make like a good 5,000-10,000 a month. That's still a lot of money, but it's not a lot. It's not 100 grand. And like 100 grand could be like most of their income. Like what the fuck? Mr. Beast, you probably make millions. And I know some of them do make like a few million. I understand, but 100 grand is still a lot of money just to drop like that. Like, you're not Elon Musk, who can, like, 100 grand is literally $10. Like, it's a whole different story. Like, a billionaire is a whole different from like a millionaire. And depending what type of millionaire, are you like a millionaire? Are you a 10 millionaire? Are you a 100,000 millionaire? Right? But if you're just making $1 million, or you're making almost $1 million, or you're making like $500,000, and you're acting to drop like 100,000 K plus, that's like, whoa, bro, what the fuck? That's doctor salary type shit you're dropping. You can't just say that unless it's like, I understand it's for a cause, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I just hope that the Ubisoft don't sell themselves to Tencent. The likelihood they might, most likely. Everyone is sick of the microtransactions, so that's where that problem comes in. Like, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I hate microtransactions, and I hate this in virtually every fucking facet of life now in video games, this is ultimately our fault. If we didn't buy that shit, this wouldn't be happening. We have cultivated a generation of kids now for the last 10 plus years. No, ever since DLC became a thing. Like, remember, DLC became microtransactions. DLC used to be like several things that, like a bundle. Like a DLC used to be just like bundle alone. It used to be like several maps, 15 different or 20 different skins of a gun, and then like several other skins at the same time. Now, $25 is like a skin. We did this to ourselves to a degree. I can't even like blame companies to a degree, because remember, if you put like literal, I don't, this is probably a bad thing, but if you put drugs like on the street, like crack or something, it's only used if someone goes near it, goes and takes it, right? It's only a threat if you go and take it and use it, or even try sell it, right? Or like, it's like the gun thing. Like, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people, right? So if I put a gun in a room and leave it there and no one touches it, everyone stays alive, right? As long as no one touches the gun and it's not loaded, most likely, everyone stays alive. Like, an unloaded gun is just as much as safe as a gun that's on the floor not being used, because there's no bullets. It can't kill you because you're holding a gun and pulling trigger. It only kills you if it has bullets in it, right? So, if we avoided buying microtransactions, if every gamer, or majority of most gamers, just stop buying microtransactions, you can't get all of them, but if you get majority of them, like a good 80% plus or so, which is going to be a high number and hard number for them not to, and this is involving children and like grown adults who plays video games, to like literally stop playing video games. What's going to happen is, or stop buying microtransactions in every game possible, free or full price. They will have to pivot away from that completely. But because we have, like I said, curated a bunch of children from, I'll say, probably 2014 up to this point, for the last 10 years, kids are so normalized to the idea of microtransactions like Fortnite that getting a skin that is $15 isn't a big drop in the hat to them. It's literally like going to buy candy at the store like 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago. Buying candy was like, what, $1 or less. Now it's like $2, $3, depending. Like, if you buy like a Snickers bar, it's like $3. Back then it was like $1.50, or even less, depending on where you're living. So like, the problem, as much as I hate microtransactions like the other guy, it's ultimately our fault, because we didn't discourage our friends or shame our friends for buying microtransactions. And because that now exists, my little brother harasses his sister on a constant of buying V-Bucks or whatever the call is called. And when I say little brother, I'm talking about my brother-in-law per se. He harasses my girlfriend for like, which is his sister, for V-Bucks all the time. And then he was like, do you have $20? I just want to buy these sneakers in this video game. Which is a stupid investment because if, say, Fortnite, for some odd reason, just says we're shutting down tomorrow, not only that you invested so much money into a company that you're not going to get anything back of physically, you just kind of just wasted a bunch of money for no reason because all those digital assets won't be able to be transferred to like another game, or you won't be able to hold on to them, you won't be able to look at them, you won't be able to do anything with them, they have no value whatsoever. So like, this is why I don't buy microtransactions, I don't buy skins. I think they're stupid. If anything, just get a mod, but like, this is why I don't like skins. I don't think they're important. They don't help gameplay. They don't enhance gameplay. The only thing they do is just make you look at least slightly better in a video game. And the worst thing is to play like a Battle Royale and be shit at a game and you buy like a JJK skin and look like Gojo and just get fucked in the first like 30 seconds of playing the Battle Royale game. I think that's crazy work. How you went and bought $20 worth of Game Pass, or even more than that, probably $30 worth of Game Pass. I think it's $30, I believe, or probably less. I think it's $25 of Game Pass, and you get all the skins, or you get all the skins that you purchase. You go into a Battle Royale game, the first 30 seconds you get fucked. You couldn't find a single gun, or even if you did find a gun, you got destroyed within the first 30 seconds. But hey, you look good in that Gojo skin. Right, that shit is stupid to me. I don't think it makes any sense. Tencent takes it further, I believe. Doesn't Elon want to live on Mars or something? I heard that, but you know, people say things. He could be just saying that to a degree. I'm not saying he doesn't want to, but who wants to live on Mars? There's literally nothing. By the time we get like any type of people over there, that'll be like hundreds of years from now. Hundreds of years, like getting like actual stations and stuff up there, it'll take hundreds of years for us just to get like a good colony over there. So it seems almost pointless to say you want to live on Mars when there's absolutely nothing. There's no internet, there's nothing. So I'm pretty sure he's saying that to get people hyped of the companies he want to work with, or who will help work with him to get like start colonizing Mars. I think that's just his way of getting stockholders, and whatever to get excited of what he wants to do.
But his tactics just came off as very bizarre to me. Probably because of the way he speaks about large quantities of money like it's literally nothing.
Dude, I'm playing some Counter-Strike right now. I'm live too.
Oh, let's go. Well, Hayden, get your toes off the table.
Sorry.
Please.
No. Let him keep his toes on the table, bro.
Nah. That's crazy, Rug. You can't be saying that unless you're donating some money. I saw in one of your videos, you got a nice house. You got a lot going for you. The view's been high. What are you doing? 100 million this month? Every dollar, a year of clean water for someone in need. What do you think, Rug?
First off, amazing cause. What can I do? I'll definitely donate to the cause for sure. And I just don't know off the top of my head what I would do.
All right, I don't want to peer pressure you. What about 5Gs?
That's light. I mean, I would say at least 10.
Oh, okay. Well, then sounds like you can do more. Can we get a 15? 15 grand?
We'll get a 15 grand in there. We'll get a 15 grand.
Okay, hey, donate it live on stream. Shout out to Rug.
100%. We got you at 15.
All right, thank you, man. Catch you later.
Let's go. Hey, of course.
Let's do some math right here, boys. That 15 grand I just got us, does that even make a dent? What percentage 15 grand of 8 million? Someone do hey, Luke, can you do the math? What percent of $8 million is $15,000?
No idea.
I just don't understand the concept of begging someone to donate and then immediately saying that a $15,000 donation is pointless. Like, is this a charity or is it a pseudo dick measuring contest? There was also this weird moment after some workers came in and set up some sort of like shark mechanical bull-esque device, and he ironically did not want to give them water.
We got the thumbs up.
You guys want some water?
Nah, we'll get them some water in a bit.
Get them some water, please.
Other than that, you had some more candid moments from Jimmy, where he said things he normally would not say, due to his now, like, family-friendly brand.
Who needs to
No, I fuck
be...
with this.
Who
I fuck with
needs to
that.
do the Nazi
These
salute?
look like
Elon
blanket
did
pigs.
a wilder one in the
Yeah, they
US,
taste
I
like
think.
jizz in your mouth.
And he still...
But how do you know what that tastes like, though?
Do you like Feastables?
Honestly, I don't think he's a Nazi.
No.
I don't think so.
Kidding.
He also kept talking about a snake potentially biting his dick.
He's hungry.
Oh,
I don't like it. No, he's getting towards my D. No! No!
Say goodbye to your D.
Don't touch my D. Don't touch my D. Okay. Alright, I feel better. It's off my D. I was getting nervous, man. Yo, what if that one bit my D in half?
Then we had content finally.
I don't know, man. Like,
Alright.
that would hurt.
You would still have your D.
And they even got this man Aiden oiled up on some Diddy shit.
This is what doing a Mr. Beast stream is? Really? L loser. Jimmy, this is what you got me doing, bro? There's baby all on my face.
But let's be honest, the guy is probably used to being in that position by now, as he eats the gunk from his very own feet. But yeah, I do find Mr. Beast to be a kind of awkward guy, but I'll also say at the end of the day, he does do good things for people in need, and maybe he is jaded and defensive over his charity efforts because lies about his philanthropy have gone viral in the past. Like when people were claiming that the 100 wells he built in Uganda back in 2023 were no longer functioning due to a lack of funding and maintenance. There was zero evidence to substantiate this claim, and he would debunk this by having someone visit all 100 of them to show they are still working just fine in the current day. But I don't know, there is just something so ironic about the humanity guy coming off as so robotic. The guy trying to save society at every turn, and he's kind of made that his whole brand, at the same time seems painfully disconnected from the reality of most people, and the way they view money. It's really kind of the same issue that people had with his Amazon series, something about it felt very dystopian. And when I compare him to someone like Ryan Trahan, the difference is truly night and day when it comes to how genuine this guy comes off in his content. I don't know, no matter what you do, someone is always going to be outraged. I do want to know what you guys think about this situation down below. Do you think as long as it's a net positive, it doesn't really matter how we get there? Or do you think that the whole thing was just a little bit cringy, a little bit strange? I mean, you got a billionaire here begging for donations from his friends, asking for numbers. I want to know y'all's thoughts down below. I do also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some other cringe out here needs to be covered. So I'm out. Peace.
The average donation's like $4, so that's Tooth Fairy money, right? That's bake sale. I was
Shit. So like that's where that issue comes in. So yeah, this was the whole Mr. Beast situation. So I don't know. You can never be a content creator with any form of like dirty laundry to a degree. Imagine the algorithm caught that, then your account has been banned shows on my screen. I'm probably jinxing myself here. On Twitter, I don't think so. On TikTok, yes. On YouTube, you might get penalized a little bit, but like, cause like there's like, let me use an example. Like there's that one dude on Twitter who's like a Nazi influencer. I think everyone knows who he is. He has black hair. I forgot his name. And he like dresses like Joker. He's very open with his racism. Very open with his racism. And he really makes it very clear. He's not even playing that fuck game with him. And remember, this is like a, I wouldn't say he's like a regular old schmo now, but he was before, and he was still the same. So a true racist cannot help themselves. A lot of people think racist people are these clever people who are just usually very good at being covert with it. Not all. The majority of not all. Maybe you're politicians to a degree. I'm not gonna lie to you, but majority of people cannot do that. They really can't. Especially if they feel like they're right. They cannot do it. Narcissism is a bitch of something. It's like a drug. So like when you feel like you're right and in the right, and you feel like you're the hero of your story, you think you're going to just be covert with it? No, fuck no. Especially if you feel like you're right, even if you know somewhat there's some morality that's questioned there. So like, yeah. It is what it is. Alright, so what I'm going to do, we're going to go play some Peak. I'm going to play up to like 10 and then jump off. Today was a very slow and boring day. I'm not going to lie to you. No one came in today. I think, is that a holiday? I don't know. Everyone's been super quiet today. Super quiet. No one talked on Twitter, TikTok. I don't think a single person, other than like Rick and then Brian and probably Ari, said hello, and that's it. I think I might take a break from streaming on TikTok like that in general. I think if I'm going to stream on TikTok, I'm going to just stream like video games, and that's it. I'll still stream like art, but when I stream art, it's what I'm doing on Mondays. But for now on, I think whenever I'm doing any form of streaming, it will be probably just video games alone. All right, later TikTok, later YouTube. Bye bye. Today has just one. So we're gonna play Peak.